celebration, we love it. The future looking real bright, and we moving on just right. It's a celebration, it's a celebration, we love it. There's no segregation. We're the best party and we know it. Happy anniversary, NNP, anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP, 40 years and going strong. Providing a solid foundation for the nation future, 40 years of greatness, development and progress. Yeah. It's a celebration, it's a celebration, we love it. The future looking real bright, and we moving on just right. It's a celebration, it's a celebration.
A pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And how are we doing this afternoon? God's blessings to each and every one of you guys. Today being the very first day of October, Tuesday the first day of October 2024. I hope you guys would have had yourself a wonderful day. Welcome to the persons on my Facebook and YouTube page. Good afternoon to each and every one of you. Wherever you are right now. I hope that you're glued to your TV, your computer, your radio, wherever you're listening to me from right now. I want to say a pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you.
It's a celebration, we love it. The future looking real bright, and we moving on just right. It's a celebration, we love it. There's no segregation. We're the best party and we know it. Happy anniversary.
Go ahead right now and share the live. Tag somebody, let them know that class is in session for another wonderful Tuesday.
Development and progress, yeah. It's a celebration.
To some of you guys, is welcome back.
If you tell it,
you guys were here yesterday.
Just right. It's a celebration. We love it. There's no segregation. We're the best party and we know it. Happy anniversary.
Whatever constituency you're from right now, whatever parish you're from, I want to say a pleasant good evening. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're here for another class in session program. I'm yours truly, Royalty James. We are definitely here. Somebody say hot it up like yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I came off blazing, man. So we want to say welcome back to each and every one of you guys. Just to start today's segment, I want to ensure that I disseminate some important and pertinent information when it comes to the political organization. We are back to our zonal meeting, and on Thursday the 3rd of October, that is this Thursday at 6:30, we are at St. John's RC School. Yeah, so this Thursday we are at the St. John's RC School. You can come meet Dr. Clarice Modest Cowing, your parliamentary rep for St. Mark's, Brother Alvin Dabrio, your constituency lead for St. John's, Sister Emmeline Pear, your MP for St. Andrews Southeast, and our political leader and former Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell, is also going to be on the platform. So be out there in St. John's this Thursday. A private entity, or I shouldn't say a private entity, but a private undertaking by our dear Sister Emmeline Pear, Honorable Emmeline Pear, the power of emotional intelligence for young people, would be hosted by Honorable Emmeline Pear on emotional intelligence expert. You can register now and get interactive on the online program. Activities designed to help and succeed. The program launches on Saturday, October 5th from 11 to 12:30. Parents must register their children between the ages of 12 to 19. Yeah, so go ahead right now and join. You can go on https://farmers or forms.gle. I would definitely do make it shareable at the end of the program, and you can go on 4BVJQQAS1S3NK.JHA9. I know it's a lot, but however, we definitely gonna make it shareable to you guys in a very short while, so you can go ahead and be a part of that. All right, so go ahead, join Sister Emmeline Pay as she go ahead to do such a wonderful job that she customarily does in terms of imparting knowledge to our young persons. All right. They say sorry for the late reminder. Registration will be closed today. Yeah, so registration will be closed today. It have been posted. So persons, you still have the opportunity until tonight. I think still have until tonight in which you can definitely. I'm trying to put it in my comment section. But however, it is not giving me the opportunity to do so. But nevertheless, go be a part of this one that is put on. Don't forget, on October 27th, we are at Progress Park, where we have our bingo that was scheduled to be at the earlier part of this year and has been pushed back due to the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Ladies and gentlemen, our conversation therefore commences. And we want to ensure that in disseminating information today, we disseminate the proper information. Yeah? We are continuing the plot in ensuring that the rescue mission of the new National Party takes place, ladies and gentlemen, in the manner in which it should take place. Ensuring that we do all that we have to do. Now, if you realize, as of late, and you look on all social media platforms, know that the new National Party is out and about addressing issues, speaking on issues, touching on shortcomings, promises that was not fulfilled. You are realizing that neither one of those issues are being attacked. This present administration, even if you look on the many platforms, you would realize that a lot of the things that have been addressed on the platform have not been debunked in any way by this present administration. So all they say, no, we have in zonal meetings and we just talking and we just want to be back in power. Note that a lot of the things that are being said on our platform cannot be argued. Dr. Modest took it this morning on one of the programs on GBN. And as per usual, whenever they do hear Dr. Clarice Modest scoring, their first thought process immediately goes into the shrimp farm and fall farm conversation. Well, this morning, I think she did due diligence in not just answering the question, but giving notifications to persons who have inquiry on the issue as to whom they can redress or ask or inquire from. Because the new National Party stood steadfastly in stating that after losing the general election in 2008, that all the documentations in terms of lands and finances was there. It was left in the hands of the incoming National Democratic Congress. So I want to put out a sound warning that in the same effort and breath that even today we are asking what is the findings as it relates to the investigation process, to that was boldly spoken about by the Prime Minister in the board that was put together to find out whether or not the information surrounding oil and gas is accurate. We are yet and going on maybe about 5 months now. A board was put together to do an investigation or to carry out the process of an investigation in terms of the oil and gas conversation. I don't know if any one of you guys have heard on any platform the findings of that board. And I want to know whether or not the investigation is happening, and also whether or not they're being paid as board members. Yeah. So we are diligently asking that the same process take place with the shrimp and fall farm. Please put a board together, Mr. Prime Minister. Put a board together. Get the people or the persons involved in finding out more as it relates to the shrimp and fall farm. Let's get the findings. As I asked yesterday, the present Prime Minister posed to him whether or not he was a local agent or acted as a legal counsel to the person or persons within the state that was given the opportunity to carry out that task in terms of the shrimp and fall farm. And I want you guys to pay attention that all the goons that are talking shrimp and fall farm, have you ever heard Prime Minister Mitchell, Dickon Mitchell, speak on anything surrounding shrimp and fall farm? Open your eyes and brighten your tiles. His utter silence and intended ignorance surrounding shrimp and fall farm, we are asking you, sir, to mount a board, because you're very good at building boards. Because every little thing in Grenada now have a board. Because all you want to address issues. And while we are forging on current issues, and asking you questions surrounding things that are important, like this. Let me ensure that I get it. That is what we want to know about.
In July 2023, the Cabinet approved the Public Service Regulation Strategy Framework and accompanying guidelines for the appointment on a definitive basis in the public service to guide the regularization of government workers, including workers and imanis. Under this framework, the following is expected. Phase 1, approximately 300 employees will be confirmed by the Public Service Commission, PSC, by December of this year, consisting of officers who are temporary, on probation, on assignment. Phase 2, approximately 1,754 workers to be considered for regularization by December of 2024, consisting of workers holding PSC contracts, government of Grenada contract, ministry letters, and daily paid instruments. Phase 3, approximately 3,326 workers to be considered for the regularization by December of 2025.
Now we want to know the updates. This, ladies and gentlemen, was in the budget speech that was given last year. You hear the amount of numbers that have been called. And so now, this is the current issues that we are addressing. Not shrimp farm, and Fall Farm and Livera project. Now we need some confirmation. We need government's analysis and redress. You stated how 300 and something in the first phase and 1,007 something in the second phase, 300 and something to be confirmed by this year. Or considered, yeah? Considered. These are the issues, ladies and gentlemen, we want to be addressed. So when you come with your old talk about Shrimp Farm and Fall Farm and Livera project still, we don't want to hear that. We have given you guys the answer, and we're saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, what we want to know is the updates as it relates to the things that was laid out in your budget, because we have started budget consultation for the year ahead. So how can we move forward in not understanding what we have fulfilled in our past budgetary cycle? Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. There are current issues that are happening now as of present. And I read, the National Executive wish to inform you that a series of actions have been planned in response to the ongoing issue of non-payment of salaries of teachers for the period August to October. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, our teachers within the state of Grenada have not been receiving salaries from August to October as we speak. And mind you that August, they are looking at it with a wink eye, because there are some people that can go back to as far as July. So can you believe that government with a bi-monthly payment, 15th of August, no salary. The end of August, no salary. The 15th of September, no salary. The end of September, no salary. And you're quick to ask when NNP having a convention and the nation's teachers are not being paid their salaries. Not a stipend, you know. Their salaries. Somebody said in the comment section, after Berry flood my house, they didn't pay me. And and Tavi saying, take me money and bill it back. Yeah, Tavi or Tavi, or rather Tavi, the girl one. What are billing it back with, Honorable Minister? I won't say what you say, DNA. But believe it or not, Grenadians, while they are busy speaking about what they believe Dr. Mitchell said on his platform, while they are busy speaking about Livera project and Shrimp Farm and Fall Farm, there are persons dying at the General Hospital. Supplies are being asked by medical practitioners and it cannot be brought there. And teachers are not being paid in the state. But they're talking about cable and wireless in 1995 and issues that date back to 2015 and other dates, while our teachers to date have not been receiving their salaries, while there are people in Carriacou and Pidimotnik still living on the trampoline after today being 3 months after the passage of a hurricane. So ask me more about what NNP have to do, but you ain't doing what has to be done. And this is the conversation we want to have. And so the executive, while seeking to engage the employer, the union will take the necessary step towards resolution and the pressing matters, the foolish trade union leader stood on May Day and said this is the best he has seen in all the series of governments that have treated workers and teachers in the state. I should meet you somewhere now and hit you a damn bull pistol. And so with your signature being placed there now, how do you feel? How do you feel? We therefore call on all members to fully participate in the actions outlined. Starting tomorrow, they're asked to wear something red, make a statement condemning this unfortunate occurrence. Unfortunate what? I tell you, these people, when I tell you, Dr. Mitchell was always placed in a position where they could shoot down the range for him. You hear a nice one? Unfortunate occurrence. You have not had a response from the powers that be, but you already label it as unfortunate. What makes a situation unfortunate? It is unfortunate that the rain come and we could not have had the event. It is unfortunate that my vehicle broke down. An unfortunate situation is what you consider unforeseen. You don't know it is going to happen or it would have happened. That is unfortunate. But when you have a mandated employer expected to pay you and he don't pay you, how that becomes unfortunate? How is it that I work and I'm expected to be paid and the boss don't pay me and it is unfortunate that the boss don't pay me? Well, I will be in a fortunate position to take all what he have in the place. See how they're still trying to sugarcoat it? It's an unfortunate occurrence. You're expected to be paid by government and you're talking about this unfortunate. Anyway, going forward, on Thursday, union t-shirts have to be worn. Stand in solidarity with those who are affected. And let me say to you guys, look at it. I am not even excited about it because you know why? Shame, they shame. All you they don't doing that. This is not Dr. Mitchell sitting in the chair. They ain't doing that. Because they are the ones that licked the ass and took what was not rightfully theirs. The Bible says easy come, easy go. A man will admire what he has when his sweat would have caused him to earn. So on Friday the 4th, they say we union t-shirt again. They say show your support and stand together and make the statement. Social media blast. Well, that's a new one. That is a new one. This list is a funny list. Social media blast. So teachers and teachers and principals use social media to speak out against such act. Oh my God. Look at where we reach. Look at where we reach. I know the process is where you talk about, well, red day and go slow and tools down and all these things. You know, yeah? Social media blast. Oh my goodness. What piece of legislation that give any union to fight for any footing to go on social media and talk on a government to get answers? That does work. That does work. Achats. They say they have a next one in Riyadh. They said this one, take a few minutes during your lunchtime. But students was left in school. Or you took it to the streets. But now stay in the yard and go outside lunchtime and stand at your school gate. Don't leave the school compound, you know. Stand at the school gate and within the vicinity to raise awareness of the issue. Use your placards. But with Dr. Mitchell, all you there, all in the botanical gardens, all you ain't fooling me. All you ain't fooling me. All you ain't fooling me with this stupidness. Yeah? Dr. Mitchell conversation was as it relates to a percentage of payment. It wasn't that audio wasn't getting paid, you know. The conversation was that we are negotiating for our amount and so we want to reach an agreement. Your salaries was running like normal. Everything was happening for you. But now you have people that not getting paid. And you say stay in the yard. But when all you getting paid, all you taking it to the street. All you ain't fooling me with that. All you ain't fooling me with that. See how many teachers and principals will adhere to this starting tomorrow. People can't get paid, have not been paid, but you say stay in the yard. That is the time where your doc salary conversation comes in. Yeah? That stage, people are not being paid now. Because when Dr. Mitchell said he was not paying any doc salary, and because you all didn't work, you all was disgruntled. No, the same thing is happening. There are persons that are not getting paid. Another matter, they're not getting a percentage off, you know. They're not getting none at all. But stay in the yard. Stay in the yard. Like all you, they tie all you like dog now. Because why? All your muzzle. All your muzzle. You see the difference? From October, 4 cycles of payments would have passed. 4 cycles. 4 cycles. Yeah, next time. Teachers, I want all you to do this one. Candlelight vigil. Light a candle. The union t-shirt may be dirty from since May Day. Because they don't wash it. They may still have it there. They are not doing this. They are not doing it, and they are not doing it on the basis that at the end of the day, you lick. I don't want to use the word. So what you going to do now? And that is the question I posed. When you are a union leader, if you commend an administration for its good, do so. But you see, when you start going along and praising as if, oh God, them is the best thing. They have never done anything wrong. But no. And mind you, you see how funny it is? 4 cycles. Persons maybe had a little mortgage to pay. I hope we need our teachers in Carriacou, because those teachers are supposed to get water. I hope those teachers are not teachers in Carriacou, because now it debunks what the minister was saying. You see how stupid all you does look? So after saying what you said, that teachers are being paid and they could buy their own water, it is less than a month thereafter. The investigation proves that there are teachers in the state that was not being paid. So you ought to have given them water. You stupid man. You see what all the tongue does to all you? And at the end of the day, people should not call all you out. All this is the brightest thing, the nicest thing to be said. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest problem that is in Grenada is this administration continues to mismanage the fundings of the state. And I would die saying that. Because we are aware that the state's funds is not minimal. God has blessed us in such regard. Though it was unfortunate that we had to get it through the process of the passing of a natural disaster. These guys taking out money from here that is allocated for here and put over there. The money from over here, they're putting it over there. So in times when what ought to happen, should happen, can't happen. Because the funding that allocated, the $100 for the shoe cannot be bought because you use it to buy boxers. And then boxers is covered, but then the shoe still busts. And so that is what you're seeing going on in Grenada. A lot of little projects starting there. They dig a road there, they dig a trench here, they throw two cement bag, they throw some sand, and the project just hold up. Then they're going to dig down there again. Because every time you allocate funding, come on, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. H.A. Blaze Street. H.A. Blaze Street within the town of St. George. If there isn't any other street that is important, that government should be paying a particular attention to, should have been H.A. Blaze Street. For any driver or any passenger who passed through the Green Street area and the maneuvering that has to take place from Green Street onto H.A. Blaze Street, I mean, come on. But 11 of all, you leave the state in a vulnerable position posting it. God forbid, brothers and sisters, with the security mind that I had, if I had about 4 other fellas with me yesterday, I'd just go in the Botanical Gardens and spend 2 hours and just hijack it. Because of the level of idiotic behavior of persons who are expected to understand the importance of the nation's security and the nation's information. Because you don't tell me that 11 delegates of ministers or cabinet ministers ought to have left Grenada to go and open one school in Carriacou yesterday. So if we were in a place where we have hijacking and all these things to take place, yesterday our country's back was against the wall for about an hour or 2. Come on. Do you have to be this big hefe to have understood that? I would continue to share the concept that people don't vote ministry, they vote constituency. And I can say to you guys, sit down within your very own constituency, especially those that are being led by members of the National Democratic Congress, and watch what is happening on constituency basis. They run, they sign a documentation there. They run, they sign a documentation here. They run, they sign a documentation there. Not prioritizing anything, but looking for the fame and for the name. To say, well, Andy Williams, how it feels now? How much thing you have in the pipeline now? And Minister Williams, how many things have you placed in the pipeline? The pipe that was handed to you. Eh? By the pipe that was handed to you by Cinderella's sister, stepsister. Because she's a betrayal. Everything in the pipeline. Healthcare conversation, none and void. You hear nothing about it. Everything stayed in the pipeline that was handed to you in the House of Parliament. Be careful, little tongue, what you say. The proclamation that you made in the House of Parliament is coming back to bite you in the butt. All because you didn't think before you talk. You were looking for the excitement, you're looking for the wow. And so now, what is happening? Everything in the pipeline. Your government make numerous amount of promises. Numerous amount of promises. Is what all you don't say all the promise. I stood on this program here, sat in this program here, and played 18 clips. 18 clips of unfulfilled promises thus far. Some that you mandated as a political organization, that if given the opportunity, that would have happened in 12 months. By the stroke of a pen. Well, the pen catch a stroke. No money management, and you've seen it around the country. You've seen it, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen it. The labor project that have started with in the agricultural sector. Persons are on their fourth fortnight. Their fourth fortnight, and only have received one payment. They're asking all you. When I tell all you about thing and we program here, how long ago I spoke about teachers and short payment and not getting payment, and then we're hearing it today. As I tell all you, I just give all you like a pinch, and then sooner or later, boom, thing does blow up. They are still farmers heading into a month after this administration proclaimed that with immediate effect the payments will be made to farmers. There are farmers to date that have not received a dime. They have not received a red cent. And then you hear in the few that get is those away party colors. Some of them, they go and invoke land papers. You have one account in the place. They could film Jurassic Park in some of them place. Since before Sister Beryl could have even passed through here, the land was destroyed. But now they are party supporters. So they start to pull paper and they go and collect the $5,000 and $4,000 and $9,000 for the National Democratic Congress. All you say, every time all of us preach one thing for Dr. Mitchell: God no sleeping, God no sleeping, God no sleeping. A lot of the things that you all would have cried upon, I'm happy at this stage. I'm happy. I don't care what all you say. I'm happy that he's falling back right in all your craw. Because there are some strong supporters. Right now, they're saying, And the supporters, ladies and gentlemen, are getting more and more and more and more aggressive. Yeah? Because at this stage, when we could point with finger and say, Parliament building, National Stadium, road projects, this and that, and all that we could speak about, they have nothing to talk about. They have nothing to talk about. So every time we come at them with political conversation, they have no other alternative but to get angry, get vexed. And from the time you see he talking somewhere, he making an address, you see they sharing it on all the platform. We don't want to hear that. Pay the damn teachers the money. And if they don't get it, out of vex. Dr. Mitchell is the worst. He ducks salaries. Huh? And that's the best Mitchell and we love him. He taking back his doc salary. Baseless conversation is what they punks on nowadays. Baseless conversations. When you bring anything to them, many of the NNP supporters who had little projects, securities, cleaning of playgrounds. Right now you're passing by the park, by the cemetery in Guave. The last time I passed there, a man said up to, well, at this stage you don't know where your mother buried. Cane Field, well, they close Cane Co. An administration that is focused on beautification, but not ensuring that our people's needs are being met. Believe you me when I say to you that these people wake in the morning with nothing in their hearts but the monies in their accounts. They are going through a routine. They wake in the morning, they bail, they go in the office, or they pass, or they make a line, they go, they have lunch in a big hotel, then they go home, they bathe, they go back in the evening and drink rum in some little big time hotel as friends, as big shots. Things they are not used to. The only person that have kept to the standard that they have always been is Rambo Molin, our dear brother, the one that does look like the reverse bottle. He have kept the standard. He continues to drink by the side of the road. And don't drop your standard, brother. Stay so. They cannot compare and contrast nothing. Healthcare has not improved. In a 2-year and 4 or so months, we have seen 3 ministers of youth. 3 ministers of youth. 1 implemented project. I shouldn't say implemented, continued project. Imagine this. In a society where our electorates have said it time and time again that we have a youthful voting population, this present administration have changed 3 ministers of youth and have continued 1 project. A fact. So, I want any one of them to prove me wrong. And I'm saying continued because they have not implemented anything new. They have not implemented anything new. Youth development in the state of Grenada should gather at Lacroix roundabout. Or sooner or later we will be passing and we might just see the Ministry of Youth obituaries on the screen. Because they have not prioritized in giving youth development no attention. Agriculture, including within it fishing, fisher folks, Lord God marketing board. When we said to you guys from the closure that he said that was the reopening in September of 2022, the Prime Minister assured us the collaboration of government and maybe a private entity would have seen the reopening of Marketing Board in September of 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce that today's date is Tuesday, the first day of October 2024. Marketing Board conversation have gone utterly silent. What has been the conversation you have heard as it relates to Marketing Board? The process of exporting fishes from the state, whereby fisher folks before, even when they grabbed the collar of Dr. Mitchell's administration, and problems was rectified. I would like to know the state as it relates to exportation of fishing and our fisher folks meeting the criteria and grade and the improvement in money management and ship handling, in which Miss Congeniality would have said or spoken about during the election campaign. Current conversation is what we want to hear about. You want to hear about fish, shrimp and fall farm. I want to hear about fish. The exportation of fish in our country. The exportation as it relates to farmers in the state and their products being sold. This is the conversation I want to hear. What has been the improvement in ensuring that our farmers, when harvest and the process in which they can get their goods being sold? This is the conversation we want to hear. The investigation process as it relates to 3 or more infants that have lost their life at the General Hospital. The empathy and the sympathy has not been shown by any powers that be. Current conversation, that is what we want to hear about. The HA Blaze, the Woburn Main Road, tentative to many bus operators. This is the conversation that is current. This is the conversation we want to have. The process as it relates to our friends in Carriacou and Pidimatnik being able to leave shelters and being able to go back to their homes. A drone viewing right now would show Carriacou as a dump site. Dengue fever has reached its shores. Current conversation. This is what we want to hear about. But you take it and you're bringing it back and back and back. And what Dr. Mitchell doing 23 or 25 years, and how much and how much and how much years? Like this present organization raised Christ from the dead. These are the conversations that we want to hear. So don't come and when you all see it fit to come and have conversation in all your own liking. Somebody saying the minister will turn a millionaire in 5 years. But that is the intention. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not something that we want to laugh about. This is not something that we want to laugh about. But we ought to be very careful. Because the governance of the state seems to be a, how should I put it? A roller coaster ride for some of these individuals. The fact of the matter, and I'm always saying this on my program, if this administration is doing good, you're going to hear it from Prince. You're going to hear me commend I've had so many conversations from the election campaign to now. Promises, documentation, intentions, with little or no implementation. You telling me going into 3 years, this government cannot place their finger on anything that they would have implemented? They're taking TAMCC, what? Free tuition. Well, I want to take the opportunity tonight to ensure that I go back and get Miss Spears' conversation in Parliament when we would have totally debunked that. Pension payment, still. Are you taking that praise? At the state that you all started in, you telling me you guys would have been able to accumulate that funds to even pay that pension payment? Papi show. At the end of the day, most of the nation's leaders or the world leaders who have been successful through the process and development of the poor or average people. No state developed. No state. Take it from me. Very little leaders grow and develop their country through rich people. The poor and average persons, you ought to meet their needs. So you castigated the debushing. Fine. What have you done to keep that same persons? You say it was a primitive and it's something to keep people down. What have you implemented to improve that? See, one minister posted about, and I read it last week, when he said, oh, it was debushing, but now you have carpenters and you have contractors. Let me say to you, let's be realistic. The rate you guys are wanting to build a house, a man work for 3 months. Because then you rate all you want to build a house and them. 3 months. So January, February, March, he builds a house. What happened to him for the remainder of the year? The process as it relates to the debushing project. Sometimes debushing happening from about 5 times a year. At least a concurrent flow of your capital. Yeah? Some of these houses don't require 15 and 18 men or women. A mere 9, 10 in some circumstances. But you boast on something that not even your mind's eye could have seen the foolishness that you're talking. Not even your mind's eye could have. Ladies and gentlemen, as we close this evening, I'm young in politics. I have always said to many persons, my love for history and political history and my love for being able to read or listen and understand, I'm grateful for. I am not telling you to do like me. Some of us don't have the capacity and so on. But most of the things that we are bringing to you guys, when we don't say it, ask somebody who might be neutral. Ask somebody who you consider to be intelligent. And say, listen to me, I hear Royalty James say that. And NDC had said that. Is that true? And listen the answers for yourself. We are not here, ladies and gentlemen, debunking things based on the dislike of the present administration. No, this is not the intention. The intention is knowledge through the process of promises made. Because we need to remind you. You're comparing two administrations. This one had a strike action on the basis of a percentage or a raising percentage. This one did not pay you at all. How do you weigh and balance? The man that was paying me but had more for me, but the man that didn't give me nothing. So you have 0 here and you remain 0. This man here gave you 5 and he had 5 more for you. Which one do you believe at the end of the day? This is simple concept, you know. This is how I want to break it down as simple for you guys. One man, you hated him because he was giving you $5. But you say, you know what? I want $7.50. He said, listen to me. I don't sure I could give you $7.50, but let me walk and see how you could get $7.50. So that man is working to give you $7.50, but he giving you 5. You're getting 5. You show on your 5. And then you have 1 year that have you at 0. You are at 0. You're not getting, he not giving. Yeah, there is no consideration. So the man here give you month 1, 5, month 2, 5, month 3, month 5, and he continues to give you. But the man here don't give you month 1, don't give you month 2, don't give you month 3, don't give you month 4. This is how you weigh and balance those things. Simple concepts. Don't think this is about intelligence and you go to big school. Yeah? You walk into a school. The teacher said to you, my son, your son or daughter fell from a chair in the school. And so, seems like his hand is broken. You reach in the school 2 hours thereafter. And then the medical practitioner, when you get to the medical station, says to you, but why didn't the teachers bring him earlier on? Maybe if he had came earlier on, with the probability that, you know, something would have happened in a better light. And so you go back to the principal and you say, listen to me, you see what happened? It's because such and such is the case. And then the principal say, well, we do the best we could have and walks out. As opposed to a principal that come and say, you know, Mr. James, you know, we do apologize for that. We really do apologize. We want to take up the mantle in terms of, you know, aiding in whatever expenses that, you know, your child or you would have been, you would be occurring. And so we want to reach out to you in such regard. And I'm speaking in reference to the health system. Yeah? No, we are not saying that at the end of the day, somebody did everything right. Somebody would have neglected. But the process happened within a public space in which persons are in charge thereof. And like the principal that walk away from you, this is what is happening. This is what is happening. That principal walk away from you, as opposed to the principal that stood and say, you know what? Let's see how we can rectify that issue. And this, ladies and gentlemen, especially on my program, that I try to break down for the normal man. I'm not here speaking no big word and playing right for nobody. I have pride myself in understanding politics and bringing it to the everyday living, the everyday life. As I always use the reference, in a relationship, you had a battered relationship. A guy come to you or a girl come to you and she said, I can make your life better. I can transform your life. I could make everything better for you. And so you, based on what was said, you went along with her. You went along with him. But you're going to the new relationship now and they start to beat you. They start to abuse you the same way. And when you bring it up and you say, listen to me, but you said you would have treated me better, they're telling you, and your man used to, your ex-man used to beat you and you stayed, and you used to bust your head. That is the reference. NDC. Oh, NMP not good. Vote them out. Okay. Vote them out. Healthcare is bad and you're complaining, but NNP had it bad. The roads had a little pothole, but NNP had the road. So what is the improvement? Why did I vote you? Why did I choose you? Why did I select you? Because you preach transformation, you spoke betterment, you spoke development, and so you convince the masses to elect you. And when they're asking you questions, you're going back and Shrimp Farm and Full Farm and Livera Project and Gill and Cable and Wireless. And seriously? Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is the simple concept that I just bring forward to you guys. Simple process. No big school, no university gather it, no we gather it. Simple concept. That is how you weigh and balance and understand the process of what is happening. That is simple it. And when you're speaking to young people, for those of you all who would be going on canvas and campaign, these are the simple concepts. Why should I vote for NNP? Let's compare and contrast. We have had this administration. We have this administration. This is what we have done. In a space of that time, this is what we developed. This is what we have. Implementation, processes, development. Yeah, Leroy Smart. Yeah, maybe not late, you may pay later. Yeah, that is the process of these people. That is the process of these people. They give you something to hold, and then you hold it, and then you stand up there like caca because you continue to hold. That is all they keep doing. Post-action government. No initiative. No initiative. Check it out yourself. Somebody had to talk about something for something to happen. Somebody has to do something for something to happen. Natural disaster is what started Project 500. We're sorry, 5.5. 1.5. We don't reach 500 yet. When a prime minister, or at the time a political leader, promised that once in office, that the start of his first year, 500 Grenada home style houses. And we accept that, right? Because it's not Dr. Mitchell. It's not Dr. Mitchell and the NNP. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always my pleasure to be in your presence and impart the little knowledge, and not bossy, the little knowledge that I have in me. And if my father was here, or maybe my brother or sister, I've always said this. All my report books had Prince talk too much. Prince is talkative in class. Average student. Always have been an average student. Never above, never below. And I've lived that life because God maybe imparted that in me. To be that kind of person. To be able to be average, remain average, impart knowledge to the average. Yeah? I could speak to the bigger boys on the top, you know. But I always say I pride myself in being able to come and do this. My talent is talking. I remember one time I did an interview and they asked me, what is my advantage? I told them, my mouth. I can speak, I have the ability to speak. He asked me, what is my disadvantage? I said, my mouth. He said, what do you mean by that? I said, I could curse you with the same mouth. But the same mouth would get me promoted, that same mouth would get me demoted. Yeah? So that was saying some days I come here and I'm a little bit loose. But I understand my audience, and I want to always thank the persons, especially young adults, middle-aged persons that understand the political arena and concept and continue to sometimes message me and say, good job and thank you very much, and you understand. And I didn't understand that. You know much big people that have met me and say they listen to my program because it helps me. I help break down things for them, things that they read on or they hear in the news and so on, and I break it down for them and they get a bigger picture of it. I pride myself on that. Pride myself on that. Not everybody's on your level. Not everybody's on your level. Not everybody that is going to be on your level. Have a little legal concept in me. Have a little understanding as it relates to the English language. Not the best. But I always try to put words in place or even break it down in sometimes local summary terminology so that you would understand. Alright? So ladies and gentlemen, again, it was a pleasure being here with you guys this evening. I am Royalty James for another wonderful evening. I did said since yesterday, for those of you joining today, I would not be here tomorrow. I will be paying the final respect to my aunt, Yvonne Crosby, that will be laid to rest tomorrow. Her church service will be at the Nonpareil Open Bible Church. That's in Nonpareil. And then we move on to the Coast Guard Cemetery, where she would be laid to rest. All right, so definitely I wouldn't be here tomorrow. We will meet again next Monday. I have since tried my utmost best every time to come and be able to disseminate information from you. And I've tasked myself. The other programs, you know, they have their style, but I always try to go back, compare, contrast, have you understand promises that was made, things that has been said and has not been done. Whether it be current and I entwine, so now I bring up things here something that we talk about 3 months back, but it is relevant because at the end of the day, we have to understand where we're going with it. Yeah? So, thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. I want to extend a happy birthday to Yolanda. Yolanda Francois, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful remaining birthday. You have just about 5 hours left in your birthday. Well, actually, I should say 4 hours and 52 minutes. So, make the best of it. Happy 16th birthday to you, my dear. And anybody else that is celebrating, I think I saw somebody else earlier on posted that somebody else is celebrating. If you're celebrating for the remainder of the week, I say happy birthday to you and God's blessings to each and every one of you. Go with God. Be safe for the remainder of the night. We would see again next Monday. If any one of you guys will be at the funeral tomorrow or even Thursday, Miss Dean Barry in St. Mark's also will be burying on Thursday. Yeah, so funeral tomorrow, funeral Thursday, and Miss Barry was a stalwart person around the New National Party, St. Mark's area. So we want to say, any one of you guys that might be there, you guys might be able to see me. Maybe we will have a bottle of water together. Yeah, so thank you so very much for welcoming me into your homes, for welcoming me wherever you are, maybe in your vehicle, wherever you are right now. Thank you so very much. And to the persons extending our condolences, our family, do appreciate the fact that you guys have taken the time off to do so. I really, on the behalf of the family, would like to say thank you so very much to you guys that have been extending those condolences. And we continue to hold strong by God's grace. So next Monday, we'll see again. God's blessings to each and every one of you. And we definitely would always remember that class is in session. I just have to get back my bell, and I think I need my bell. Yeah. So have yourself a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Royalty James, signing out for another wonderful evening.
40 years we going strong and getting stronger. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. We love it. If you celebration. It's a celebration, we love it. The future looking real bright, and we moving on just right. It's a celebration. It's a celebration, we love it. There's no segregation. We're the best party and we know it. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP. Anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP. 40 years and going strong. Providing a solid foundation for the nation's future. 40 years of greatness, development and progress. It's a celebration. It's a celebration, we love it. The future looking real bright, and we moving on just right. It's a celebration. It's a celebration, we love it. There's no segregation. We're the best party and we know it. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP. Anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP. Going strong and getting stronger. NNP. Happy anniversary, NNP. Happy anniversary, NNP. Happy anniversary, NNP.